How can you create a successful coaching business? Well, you're in the middle of this series. This is series or podcast number three of 6 steps to creating a coaching business. It is not super complicated, super difficult. There are some things you have to get right in order to create a successful coaching business. And I'm breaking them all down for you here in this episode series. This one is about creating a compelling message. I find that there's a lot of coaches out there that are looking for magic words, I call them, right? The special magic words that are going to make those clients jump into your offer. They go to networking events and they'll hear a bit here and they'll hear somebody talk about high achieving women over here and they hear somebody else talking about powerful boundaries over there and they borrow and they Frankenstein this togetherness of magic words and a message. A lot of the coaches' messages that I read who come to me for help don't make sense. Like, I read it and then I go, I still don't understand what you do. Or I read it and it's so vague. Or I read it and it's all about the coach, their qualifications, their certifications, their background, the programs they offer, but it never talks about the client. So let's relate this to messaging and marketing that you might be able to understand. Let's talk about soft drinks, soda, if you will, depending on what part of the country you're from. Usually people will drink one cola over another cola, right? Pepsi, Coke, Dr. Pepper, if you will. That's my favorite. Why do you drink one over the other? I know that for a lot of you, you think it was a conscious choice that you made. Like, right, I just like the taste of Diet Coke better. Probably it has a lot to do with the marketing. Let's just talk about the big two, right? Pepsi versus Coke. Coke's messaging is all about togetherness, right? Think all the way back to the 80s, where, right, they hold hands in a field and they sing about Coke. It's about Polar Bear and her family. And maybe that polar bear gets a little chubby. She starts drinking Diet Coke instead of regular Coke. It's about Santa not wanting milk and cookies, but wanting a refreshing Coke. Pepsi, that's the choice of the new generation. Pepsi has for decades picked major influencers, major pop stars, all the way from Michael Jackson to Beyonce and Pink and beyond, to represent their brand. We are cool. We are the choice of the new generation. Don't drink old stuffy Coke that your mama drinks. Let that polar bear drink her own Coke, right? That messaging is coming at you, and you are responding to it because of where you are in life. If your mom always drank Coke, I will tell you right now, I drank Pepsi, and I swore Pepsi was better than Coke in my teenage years. I now don't really like either of them, and I found out that I much prefer a good Dr. Pepper. But see, Coke doesn't go around telling you we're better than Pepsi because we use more carbonation. We're better than Pepsi because we use these flavorings as opposed to those flavorings. If you like a more carbonated, more bitter cola, try ours. See, that sounds icky, but if you think about it, that's what Coke is. You're going out there and representing coaching, and you're going, here's my ingredients of my certification. Here's my ingredients of the things that I know how to do. Nobody cares. A compelling message speaks to your client at the stage of life they're in right now. Coaching will solve a specific problem that they are experiencing right now. Let me say that one more time. Coaching will solve a specific problem. Burnout, stressed, overwhelmed, that shows up in every phase of life. It looks different in your 20s than it does in your 40s. How does it look different? How does your client's problem look and feel? How do they describe it? Compelling messaging will identify their current life experience. If this, and this is what you're experiencing right now, you're who I'm talking to. And then it will address your ability to solve that problem. Again, not through certifications, but through compelling language, right? Coke, refreshing. It doesn't say Coke, so much carbonation, it's probably going to burn down your throat on your first drink. No, but that's the reality. When you hear me on the podcast go, by the way, I'm opening up a can of cola. I forget some of you are not watching on YouTube and you cannot see me opening up this pretend can of cola, right? Compelling messaging lets your clients know that you are talking about them. They don't care about your certifications or your processes. They care about solving the problem. So your messaging compelling messaging speaks directly to the problem that your clients have. They don't care about your certifications or your processes. They care that you're solving that problem and that problem that weighs them down so heavily. Your message must be clear, it must be direct, and it must be compelling. You are not interested in competing as a commodity, as a must-have, or as a staple. You want to be a must-have. I said that backwards. You don't want to be a staple. Oh, I buy milk, I buy bread, blah, blah, blah. You want to be something. Oh, I don't even care if I have money for it. I am buying this thing right now. That's what you want your coaching to be. And to get to that, you need to be able to explain their problem to them clearer than they can explain it to themselves. That's how your body of work, the thing you uniquely do, becomes the thing they absolutely must have. Now, if this all seems difficult, if you've tried to explain the problems before, if you've tried to engage in that, I'm going to invite you one more time to try again. There's two different opportunities that might be able to work for you. One is a course that I created called Stop Saying You're a Coach and Start Telling People What You Really Do. In that course, we take your unique endotype superpower, We dive into the 3 problems your clients have, and you walk away with a clear, succinct, compelling what I do statement. Understanding that and being able to bring it all the way down into 30 seconds is then going to influence all your social media, all your website copy from that point forward, if you can explain the problem that your clients really have. I'm going to put a link where you can learn more about that course down in the show notes. The second piece, if you're like, yeah, I buy courses, but I don't do them, I hear you there. What you may need is one of my 90-minute strategy sessions. If you come to me in that 90-minute strategy session and you say, I want to work on messaging, I need to get clear about what I really do and how to say it, I can personally walk with you through that process of what is your unique superpower? What is your client's problem? How do we say those words in a way that gets their attention? So we can use that 90 minutes for that purpose. The strategy sessions, that's normally where I dive into all parts of your business and help create some strategy for movement forward. But if you want to use that strategy session to work on compelling messaging because you know yours isn't connecting, then absolutely can book one in and be clear in when you book the appointment, I want to use this for messaging, and we will absolutely do that together. Again, link down in the show notes for that. Compelling messaging. Understanding how to explain what you do is going to be that beacon of light, that beacon of hope that your clients are out there looking for right now. They woke up today suffering in some way, shape, or form. They need to know you exist and that you can solve the problem that's on their heart. The only way they can know that is if you clearly and directly describe their experience that they're having right now and explain how you solve it. Compelling messaging. The third step in building a successful coaching business.